I'm Mike Potter. I'm the wig and makeup designer for Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I was working in New York City at Kim's Video, which I'm not sure if they even exist anymore. And John Cameron Mitchell was a customer of mine, and I would see him out at a nightclub called Squeezebox, and we met there and we started talking when I was working in the video store, and he asked me if I'd be interested in doing wigs or makeup for his character that he was developing. And I had only ever really done my grandmother's makeup for church on like Sundays and friends. I was not a professional makeup artist. I went to college for environmental economics. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I did it, and it was a complete disaster. I remember someone like bumped into him and he threw an entire glass of tea in his face and his eyelashes were a wreck. And then as soon as he got on stage, the wigs fell apart, and it was a disaster. And he loved it. He was just like, oh my God, that's amazing. And that was sort of the beginning with John. I was like, I'll never get that job again. And I'm here 19 years later. So Hedwig's wigs and makeup break down just like she breaks down on stage, and it works for the character because she's so active and she's moving on stage. So the hair at a certain point is going to do whatever it's going to do. You know, I mean, we can only have it in order to keep hair that moves on stage. You can't really have it be like a rock hard sculpture. So we kind of we let it go and we let it see what happens. She has like a full meltdown on stage. So I think it's appropriate that so is her look is also melting down. You know, John's face is the inspiration for the makeup. I mean, I was Marlene Dietrich, sort of David Bowie, Iggy Pop. There's a very tragic element about his face, the makeup, the way the eyebrows are painted. But it was just about accentuating John's features in a beautiful and shocking, startling way. The makeup is I don't think it's specifically glam, rock or anything. I think it's more beautiful. It's like glamorous makeup. It's pretty, but it's also a little frightening and a little sad. John's wig is classic Hedwig. We decided when we were gonna do John coming back, I really wanted to go back to that hairstyle because I think that's what people wanted to see. So this is what we call the hero wig. Hedwig's hero wig. I don't know why, it's a film term, I believe. Hero, sort of like the iconic look. Everyone has always, over the years, thought that it was a Farrah Fawcett or whatever. I actually have always thought it was more of a colonial thing. I've always thought it was more of like George Washington meets Farrah Fawcett. A little bit. We slightly altered it for Neil Patrick Harris and Andrew Reynolds and Michael C. Hall, and it had bangs. But we went to the classic with John. There are literally 1 second, split second magnetic wig changes that happen right before the audience's eyes. I mean, Hedwig literally ducks her head and comes back with a completely different hairstyle on. And that was really fun to get to do because, I mean, I let her go. She goes on stage, there's nothing I can do. And I like that. Okay, so this is where Hedwig starts. You know, this is the Hedwig wig that kind of, the iconic Hedwig wig that everyone knows. It's human hair, but it's a hard front wig. It's not a lace front. Hedwig's supposed to be wearing a wig. I don't want her to appear this is her real hair. And then there's a quick change in the dark. John peels this off himself. In the dark, he quickly pops this wig on, which we call Midwest Midnight Checkout Queen. And as you see, it's got magnets on the buckram, and it'll just find its base. And it doesn't come off. It's kind of a bi-level, sort of Melanie Griffith from Working Girl was sort of my reference. After Midwest Midnight Checkout Queen, he goes into Beehive 1963, which is fun. We put like a net on it and it's covered in rhinestones. I think it's kind of beautiful. Farrah Fawcett from TV. Takes it off. On stage, all of this happens on stage. This is the wig that she wears for the second part of the show, which is punk rock star of stage and screen, which is, you know, kind of Tina Turner. The ends are dyed black, sort of hearkening to Terry Nunn from Berlin, but also because she has a black hairdress that this blends into, so it's almost like she is all hair at one point, you know, she's like a walking wig. The biggest challenges for doing this for Broadway are the abuse that the wigs take every night. And Michael C. Hall loved to stomp on and throw his wig across and throw it in puddles. He loved it. It made him happy, and if that's what made him happy on the stage, and I'm down. It's really hard to keep them maintained and looking beautiful, so we just have to make new ones a lot. So we have a bunch of wigs around here. I think Hedwig speaks to so many people because it's something that we all we can kind of relate to. It's like kind of loneliness and wanting to feel like there's someone out there that that's for us. You know, it's a lot of trashy blonde hair on a broken down person who in the end finds herself, and whether it be by wearing her wigs or, you know, whatever defense mechanisms that she needs to get through the day, I think people relate to that, and that's why they love Hedwig.